Of XRP, greetings from the Crypto ZX channel again. Well, wherever you are in the world, good Wednesday. Naturally, today was a significant day. We were expecting to hear from Jerome Powell about a possible rate cut at the FOMC meeting, but we didn't actually hear that. However, from a market perspective, the market is responding in an intriguing manner, which we will undoubtedly talk about. Let's chat about XRP and see what's actually going on with the pricing as well as what's coming up. You can see that XRP is currently trading at $2.13. There is a slight retracement in it. However, when you look at the larger market, you can see that coins are beginning to move back into the green. What is actually going on then? We will talk about that. But if you're watching XRP, you may notice a slight kind of decline. The price of Bitcoin at $2.13, a valuation slightly around 125 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at roughly $3 billion. $500 million, 0 cents. There hasn't been any significant decline of about 1.7%. As always, before we continue, let's quickly clarify that nothing on this channel is financial advice. Always conduct your own research and due diligence before making a cryptocurrency investment. It's right here. Interest rates will remain steady according to the Federal Reserve's decision. Many individuals are not pleased with this. Many folks are irritated. What's going on? You know, when on earth will there be a rate reduction? People always draw comparisons between the United States and Canada. And it goes without saying that those of you in the US who are watching Canada are doing so because your country has experienced multiple rate cuts. I'm sure that all Canadians can somewhat identify with that. Clearly, people are saying, since a rate decrease is so bullish, and we haven't actually seen one in such a long time, why isn't this occurring in the US? Of course, you don't realize how big of a deal it is. It is common to observe markets responding favorably. However, the fact that nothing has changed somewhat helps you to better appreciate how the economy is doing right now and how unclear the trade war is still. Of course, there isn't yet a definitive decision in the big picture. There are still other things that need to be done, even though there is obviously a halt. Let's first discuss the market's reaction, which I will naturally discuss my personal opinions on. A guide to the global tokenized real estate market. In terms of user experience, collateralized back office savings, and purpose evaluation, you may observe this for yourself. Large companies like movements might pledge to such a gesture, or more likely, they'll start implementing tokenization for all new financial offerings while allowing the legacy infrastructure to decommission. Thousands of asset managers and real estate developers are currently dealing with this situation. Tokenization is unavoidable, much like non-real estate fund asset classes. With no other options, trillions of dollars worth of capital are inactive and controlled by banks and private lenders. Customers will want more financial services for their houses, better user experiences, and lower prices. The possibilities are endless once tokenization is recognized as a standard for real estate management. We will also observe tokenization of air rights there. Soon, the asset class will be adopted in significant steps, and the fanciful gold rush to tokenize hundreds of billions of dollars in real estate will be a thing of the past. All indications point to it happening gradually before suddenly. Every indication points to the fact that this will happen gradually and all at once. And I firmly believe that this is the case because if you look at the current state of tokenization over the past 10 years, you will see that it has not come close to reaching its current level. I would even take the last 10 years. Instead, I would use the last 3 as an ideal example. What has already occurred is really significant to note, and I believe that not many people are aware of what is about to happen. I think this is where the XRP ledger excels. Recall the information I gave you all about the first stop shop. Take a look at this. A measure sponsored by Richie Torres in New York would prohibit government officials and members of their immediate family from making money off of stable and meme coins. We are aware of this. Recall that when the Trump coin and the Millennium coin were introduced, many questions began to surface and several well-known individuals began releasing their own coins. Only federal officials and their families are mentioned, with little to no mention of celebrities. We know what occurred with the Trump coin, but will this happen with other prominent persons next? The fate of the Millennium coin is known to us. Because some people made millions and millions of dollars, many are not thrilled about that. It goes without saying that some people are also claiming that those in their inner circle have also made a lot of money, which is where this behavior comes into play. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, but have a look. Each time the volatility decreased, the band was squeezed and an explosive move ensued. As you're aware, Treasury Secretary, we will feel that we ought to be the top location for digital assets. And that's taking place, Trump desires that to occur. He has been very clear about that, of course. Let's take a look at what's going on. But, it really gives you an idea of where digital assets are going. In the absence of a rate drop, the market has surged. What is actually happening? Keep in mind that you often anticipate a negative market reaction when you do, whales will enter the market, and do the exact opposite, if that's the general feeling of the market. And I believe that has taken place. However, many will publicly state that, as you mentioned, the rate decrease will cause the price to drop, and that in the absence of a rate cut, the price may retrace. Could I tell you that it has already occurred? If you look at how the market responded at the beginning of the week, it was the week of the FOMC meeting, and the market's reaction preceded the meeting. First and foremost, let's examine the areas of dominance if you're especially looking at Bitcoin today. I missed an update yesterday, like I mentioned. It was the first time since 2021 the dominance increased to 65.5%. It's increasing again. It's increasing at a typical rate. Naturally, there are no indications that it is slowing down. However, if you're examining the price of Bitcoin on an hourly basis, let's actually examine it and go on to the hourly. This is something you can witness for yourself. Yes, Bitcoin did rise again. We're pushing back above 97K, and if the daily candle closes in around here, we might even break out this week towards 100K Bitcoin. That will be a really positive sign. When compared to Bitcoin, altcoins will undoubtedly continue to lag behind, especially when it comes to XRP. There seems to be a slight lag in it. I talked to you guys about the 38 pointers neckline where we conducted a retest, and it has since bounced once more. You all understand the significance of that range. This trend of build-up is still in place. Yes, we haven't witnessed any dramatic maneuvers, but as I've told you all 100 times, we cannot overlook the domination. Please share your thoughts with me below. What are you all doing at the moment? Every single one of you is loved. Later, we'll see you. Peace and Crypto ZX.